All right, we're back out at the killing fields. It's June 2025 and it's super hot outside. Our goal is to do the same routine, set up audio recorders, run the thermal devices, the parabolic dish, and look for the orbs. The last couple times that I've been here, we've seen the orbs just right down the hill, and I also heard some strange vocalizations that I definitely believe to be Sasquatch. I got Adam from the Half-Inch Wrench crew here. He's got all his gear. We got the e-bikes, our tent set up, and our drones. I think that's gonna be another vital piece of equipment is the thermal drone. And Adam's drone, it's awesome. I mean, it looks really cool. Mine, it's the same thing, same brand, a different model. I got a little bit better zoom, but I don't know how to use it very well, so I'm glad I have Adam here because he's really familiar with the Autel drones and he knows how to use the controller and the device way better than me. The aircrafts are awesome, and I think that's going to be a really important piece of gear because everything's super far away, whether it's the trails in the park or the killing fields, and just when you go out there walking, you're out of breath. And it's hard to research everything all at once because you can only see so far into the woods. And when you send the drone up, especially at like 2 or 3 in the morning when the bulls are out in the fields and you don't want to walk through those fields with all the cattle down there, I think it's really cool. Plus, you don't have to disturb things. I feel like if you have the drone up in the air, you can like zoom in and look at things from a long distance away. But we're gonna try some new tactics. We have some ideas that we want to try, so definitely stick around. And I think this video is going to be awesome. I want to say I appreciate everyone for the support, all the people that are in the comments. You guys are amazing, and none of this would be possible without you guys. It is like 100 degrees outside and it's going to be brutal the next couple days, but we're out here nonetheless because, like I told Adam, if we don't get out there, it's going to be like fall or winter time before we get out there. And I just think it's a good time to experience activity since everything's really thick. It is super hot, so we won't be walking around all over the place. Our goal is to have these creatures come into camp where we are. I think that'll be a good tactic, especially this time of year because it's just brutal outside and the campground has a lot of shade. There's a slight breeze, and I feel like we're being watched. Adam, the last time you were here at the end of the trip, there's a stump over there and you were gonna pour the leftovers from breakfast there. And you noticed these rocks. I think they were like flint rocks. That was weird. They were definitely not there. What do you think that was all about?
Well, there were definitely 2 of us here the first couple nights we were here, and there was 2 rocks. And I've heard of that kind of activity before. So I think that while we were sleeping, maybe they come up and put 2 rocks as a, hey, we know you were here.
Was it 2 rocks or 3 rocks?
I think it was 2.
And there was 2 people, you and me camping
That
here.
was the first thing I checked when I got here, because I got here like a few minutes before you. They're not here, and you said last time you was here they weren't.
Yeah, they weren't. Yeah, the last time I was here, I went over there to see. I'm like, oh, I wonder if those rocks are there. They were gone. I was like, what the heck? And I mean, you left all that food. I didn't see what came up and ate it, but I feel like they left 2 rocks for 2 people.
I think so too.
Yeah. So we're definitely being watched. I get that feeling when we see the orbs. You weren't here the last time, and David and I saw like red orbs flashing down there. And at one point, it looked like somebody turned on a light bulb. It just stayed lit for like 20 seconds or so. And I just couldn't film it. Not with the smoke. I couldn't get zoomed in, and my battery kept dying. Like when those orbs showed up, the battery on my my night core light just kept shutting off. I'd click it, and then it shut off. So I don't know if that was just like a bad battery or there's some type of strange anomaly happening when these orbs are showing up. And I also noticed when me and one of the other girl researchers that was here, when we'd get to that ridge, dude, we both felt like we were gonna have like a heart attack. Like we couldn't breathe. I thought it was just me, so I didn't say anything. I was like, oh, I guess I drank too much energy drink or something weird. But when we got back, she was like, man, my heart was going crazy. And I felt like I couldn't breathe. And I was like, yes, weird. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to sound like a pansy, but yes, yeah, exactly.
Well, I can contest to the orb activity here. When I first got into this, the orb thing was kind of a, yeah, maybe. But after being here a few times with you, I've seen these red orbs, so I can contest. Orbs are real. And I didn't think that until I come out here. I've
Yeah.
seen them here.
Yeah, not a firefly.
Yeah, and I've seen them with you. We've both seen them. The first time I seen one, I thought, no. And then you spoke out loud. Did you see that? And I'm like, yeah. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't know what I was looking at.
Yeah, that was the winter time, so it wasn't a firefly. It wasn't someone flying their drone. I mean, this is moving through the woods.
Yeah, head level.
Yeah, it wasn't a flashlight. We're the only ones out here. And it was definitely strange. And your dad and Shelby came out here one day, and your dad's like, I see an orange light moving through the woods. That must be David down in his fields. And I messaged David. He's like, nope, no, it wasn't me. And then we saw him going the opposite way too later on, which was strange.
Yeah, I was excited to be here.
Yeah, let's get out there, set up some audio recorders, and we'll come back and we'll hit it hard, man.
We should.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. All right, everybody wanted to see Yowie. Yowie's here. Yowie, say hi. Say hi. So there he is. He's a lot bigger, and he's still just as wild as before. But yeah, we have the parabolic dish as usual. I brought a salt block. This is apple crushed. So basically, it's like a mineral block, but it smells like apples, and I think that'll definitely help pull in more wildlife. I brought an electric stove this time, a bunch of snacks, and when you're in the heat, liquid IV is definitely essential. A bunch of bread, a bunch of food. This thing's kind of cool. It's a little AC unit that goes around your neck. Definitely works when it's hot outside. We have the e-bike. Adam's got his e-bike, or Shelby's e-bike, the half-inch wrench crew e-bike. It's the business bike. In the business for cryptids. Yeah. Dude, it's pretty quick. I got the Squatch helmet. As usual, you guys have seen it out here before. The Anchor battery bank, and this time I have the solar panel connected, so that'd be pretty cool. Got a new fan. I didn't show you guys that, but it's got a battery bank on it as well. All the pots and pans. I got a new cooler. Let me show you guys my new cooler. This cooler is ginormous. It's an igloo cooler. It's got big wheels. It's got a waterproof little container that can come out, which is cool. If I can get it back on there. But yeah, check that out. A lot of ice. It's got fishing rod holders. Definitely cool. Got the Cabela's chair, which it's a necessity out here. This time I don't have the tarp over my tent, the rainfly, and the tent looks a little different, but it's still the same snug pack tent. But this is cool because it allows more air to get into the tent. But yeah, that's Adam's tent. Pretty much you can unfold it and it just shoots up into form. Oh, I like it. You got the cot in there. You got the thermal drone, all kinds of gear, some tripods, some bags, and you got a Sasquatch hanging in the tree over there. What do you think? What's your goal?
I think this is what we're up against tonight.
I feel like something like that's out here.
Hey, Squatcher, you know what's knocking back?
Yeah?
No, for sure.
That's scary.
I thought I'd bring this just to put on our heads.
Yeah. It's food for thought, man, especially when you're out in the remote forest. Yeah, always hot. It's like 100 degrees. I contemplated on leaving them out here, but either way, it's hot, whether I leave them at home or bring them out here. But I got a bunch of ice in the cooler. I just keep feeding him ice. He loves to eat ice. I got plenty of water in the tank, but I do have the audio recorders already in the bag, so Adam and I are heading out into the conservation area, and I'm gonna set one up there and one down in the killing fields. So it should be a pretty good distance away to where we get different sounds on each recorder. Oh, and of course the Eberly stock bag with a bunch of gear in case I need it. That I never use. I bring all that and never use it.
That bag is awesome.
Yeah.
You'd be like me and be Mr. Temu Amazon special. Everything's falling apart.
It works.
Yours has got pockets. Mine's got a pocket.
Yeah.
That bag is awesome.
It is, but I don't know.
I love it. I love it.
It's hard to keep the weight from shifting to one side or the other because everything's like pieced together like Legos. It's not like all that stuff's meant to go on there. It just happens to fit on there.
You need like a Sasquatch Edition Bronco, just tricked out and overland. Put all your equipment in there and just.
Oh yeah. I definitely need a different truck though, because I'm barely able to fit all this gear in the cab, and the bed is just too small.
Oh yeah, I could attest to that too. It is a lot of work to bring all this equipment out.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a lot of equipment, a lot more than I got, and it is a lot of work.
It is.
Like we talk about it all the time. It's one thing to research, but it's another thing to bring everybody along for the trip.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people bicker back and forth, like, oh, he's just filming himself, and they don't understand that. In order for them to see what's going on, what it takes for you to do that, it's a lot of work. That's why I have a lot of respect for you, because it takes a lot of work.
It does, and it just takes forever to pack everything up and unpack it, and then pack it back up, and then unpack it back at your house, and it's just like, wow, that was like a day and a half of packing. But for sure, I feel like the orbs are going to show up down there. A lot of people want to see the trees, so right there is where we're normally seeing the orbs, like right there. And I feel like that's going to happen tonight for sure, so we're going to try to figure out the settings on the camera and try to document it. And we're definitely going to have to listen for vocalizations. Adam, when we first showed up, I got out of my truck, I shook your hand, we were standing there talking. What'd you hear?
A loud crash, almost a knock.
It was like a loud knock crash. Like,
and every time we come out here, that happens either over here or over here when we first get here.
It was loud.
Every time.
Yeah, and we've been here all day, and when Dave was here, a vehicle drove by on the road, and he's like, huh, that's the first vehicle that's drove by all day. And when we were here, there's no one out there. Like, it didn't sound like a car door shutting. There's not even a house over there. It's all solid woods around here. Until you get into town, like that way's town, that way's remote. An ocean forest, like it's huge woods.
Paint the picture for everybody. We're in one of the least populated areas in, if not, no, I think it's number one on the list, least populated areas in Missouri.
Yeah, there's no houses in the park.
Don't really have that high of a population to begin with. You break down out here, you're gonna be sitting on the side of the road for a long time before help finds you.
Well, you won't even have service if you break down.
No, you ain't got no signal out here.
You'd be screwed pretty much. You just have to hope that someone stops and is willing to help, and most of the time people don't stop to help some stranger. But yeah, let's get to it, man. It was definitely a loud knock though. It sounded like someone took a big rock and smashed it on a tree. It didn't sound like a wood knock, but it didn't sound like a rock clack. It was like a hybrid. Or something threw like a huge rock at a tree. Clunk. Did you hear that? Yeah.
Yeah, it sounded like something fell and went thud on the ground. Walnuts ain't out yet, are they?
Little bitty ones, like little hickory nuts.
A lot louder than the little one.
Yeah, it sounded like something was moving back there. That's what I told you earlier too. I was like, man, that camper being there, it makes it hard to know what's behind you. And we kept hearing animal noises back there last time, which is weird. David said he's seen the elk on the camera right over here. I've been getting elk on my trail camera that's way off on the other side of the property, but he's been seeing them down here too. So they've been coming up to the campground. Dude, I keep seeing like flashes of black. Is that turkey? Have you been seeing that? Like black flashes. I'm thinking it's turkeys.
I thought I seen brown.
Yeah, like I kept seeing it. It looked like either buzzards or turkeys flying, but it's like one after another as I'm talking. So what the hell is that? That's part of my ghillie suit from last time. Yeah. Lost a piece of myself. Yeah, you get enough water? Good boy. Dude, your eye is swollen. that thing pretty quick? Yeah. Oh yeah, that wind feels awesome. I think this is up high. Because the further we go, I think we start dropping down lower and lower. Because I'm also looking to capture like what's way over there too. Oh yeah, so this is like a spot that I want to camp at someday. This right here. I think we should do that during the winter time. All right, we're at one of the wildlife food plot areas off of a Forest Service road in the park. And yeah, my goal, Adam, is to set up the audio recorder in one of these trees. And this is kind of high up on a hill, so I want to be able to capture what's further back that way, but also on the other side of the park too. Because the last couple times, I went way down this road and set up the audio recorder. But I feel like that's down in the bottom. I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of like throwing a random dart somewhere and hoping it hits its target. But you just never know. Because I feel like if we're sitting at camp, at David's campground, and one fires off, it's normally like from this direction. And this is where that BFRO report was from. I talk about it all the time on my videos from the killing fields. But for those that don't know, there was a hunter in his deer stand bow hunting, and he saw a Sasquatch walk across a field. We think this is the area. But I mean, I honestly feel like just because someone's seen a Bigfoot here, that doesn't mean you're gonna come here and see Bigfoot. You know what I mean? Like, you hear that? Dude, do you hear that?
There's something over there.
Yeah, I know. Something's running up out of there. What is it? It sounded big.
There's something over there for sure.
Did you see it? I heard it. It was coming up that way. It was big.
It was big.
Yeah.
That was over here somewhere.
Yeah. Sounded like a 200 or 300 pound squirrel. And it could have been a deer or an elk, something big. All right, I take that back. Just because there's been a Bigfoot seen here, that probably means there's Bigfoot here.
That almost sound bipedal.
It did. Like, as soon as I started saying that, like, it was moving. Hopefully the camera mic picked it up.
I wasn't rolling. I hope yours got it.
Yeah, but I got my wireless mic on. Like, the mic's inside my shirt. I know, look at that. Dude, they're so bad. The camera's not even picking up how many there really are. All right, how about we do... Whoop! Whoop! Take this. That was a good knock. I still hear it kind of moving back there. Yeah. Dude, these bugs are insane. It sounded like something big was coming out of that wood line into the field right at us. You know, whatever it was heard us, or maybe that's what it was. Like it didn't know we were here. Like everything's going back that way.
E-bikes, dude.
Yeah, it didn't smell us. Basically, our wind is moving back towards our bikes. So whatever was coming from that way couldn't smell us. Yeah, let's set up the recorder here. Let's do that. We'll see if these Nephilim monkeys want to talk into the recorder. They're definitely a bunch of wussies. I think God should have drowned them all in the flood. I know a big rock comes flying out. Well, I've had instances where it seems like they know I was talking about them. Like at the Merrimack River, we were talking about finding Bigfoot, and then crash. I mean, a huge tree came down.
Right there.
Yeah, we were talking about them.
Bigfoot doesn't mean been seen here. Don't mean you're gonna see one.
Yeah, it was coming at us. See, like it brings a whole new meaning to what the Native Americans said about not talking about Bigfoot, because you'll bring in Bigfoot, and we were talking about Bigfoot, and it seemed like Bigfoot was coming.
That was...
Or whatever it was. I'm not gonna say that was Bigfoot, but it sounded big. I didn't think you heard it. I'm like, dude, there's something
I heard it. That's
big
why
coming.
I was looking at it. What? I'm about to die.
Yeah. Well, we're at the right spot. Nah.
Yeah, something definitely. I heard it through the GoPro on because Miguel was filming, so I shut my GoPro off. And as he's talking, something goes crush, 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 crush down through here somewhere. And we're both like, oh.
I just pictured like a big gorilla on all fours moving towards us. You said it sounded bipedal though.
Well, yeah, I expected to see a person.
Oh man, yeah, it was big. Right over there, coming out of the other side of that field.
Right to where all them saplings are. Where the brush is real thick. There's another little field right there. I wonder if maybe it went to that field.
Dude, when you think of running a thermal drone, isn't this the spot that you think about? Yeah, this is where I'm always thinking. I'll be sitting at my place in Missouri and it's like, this is the spot. Do you sit around and think about that?
Yes, it's well groomed right here too, man, because you can, when it's real thick, you can't see nothing at all. And there's a lot of rocks that'll throw you off. Something could be, like if something's in the road, standing in the road like you were the last time we were here, I couldn't hardly see you. But out here where the grass is, it's well groomed, you'd see a lot of wildlife at the very minimum here.
I'm telling you, this is what was coming at us right here.
Get some burrito off there real quick.
Well, yeah. The Wendigo likes burritos. All right, let's get the recorder out of the bag. That's what I was gonna do, but I was still amped up. Sure. Yeah, I was still amped up, so I just forgot what I was doing. I'm like,
Stopped you dead in the
So I got audio recorder 1 and 2. We'll put number 2 out here. We'll put 1 at David's farm. Basically, for those that don't know, we use this little PVC piping tube with a hanger. You can get all this at the hardware store. I sprayed that with shoot, what's that stuff called?
Foam.
Expanding
foam.
Yeah.
Liquid latex.
It works okay. Basically, a lot of people wonder too, and I know I've already shown this 1,000 times. This is the recorder, the Olympus 720 DM. But I'm gonna flip it on. I like it because it has a mic in the center and 2 on the sides, like a left and right and a center mic. So it's got 3 mics. But yeah, I've already got the time set up. I did that at my house, so I'll just turn it on.
And what's the little fuzzy thing? What's it for?
This is like a windshield. It dampens the wind.
Yeah, it definitely helps when it's windy.
Yeah, it does. Any microphone that I use has to have this. Okay, so what time does it get dark?
9.
Okay, I got it at 7:39. I think that's fair, and it shuts off at 3:15.
Yeah. There's been a lot of daytime vocalization out here.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're being watched.
Oh yeah. I gotta make sure the freaking calendar's right on here, because I've had times where this thing just does not turn on. What day is it? It's today the 25th? 25th of June.
Let me check real quick.
Yeah, check. Because I'm just wondering why sometimes I have a misfire.
25th.
Okay, and it's 4:49. Is that right? Is it 4:49?
4:49.
Oh, well. All right. So we'll have to find a good spot to set this up at. But now I feel like we might have something. We'll know for sure if we're sitting at camp when we hear vocalizations from this direction. And that rock that we heard, or tree knock, whatever it was, that crashed, it was loud. I told you we're going to experience stuff, so that's 2 things that have already happened.
We didn't record that pickup that was just sitting in the middle of the road about the direction we heard that crash.
That was FBI.
Yeah.
They've been watching me.
Probably.
Yeah. No, for real, yeah. Those bugs are horrible out here, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're so bad. Dude, this is not working. You can hit pause.
I feel like I can still hear it.
Oh, it's creeping around. That's what I'm thinking. This is not going to hold up. Probably won't be able to get it up very high, but it's all right. Think somebody will see that? Probably. I think if they're really looking, they will. The red kind of throws it, like kind of gives it away. I think it'll be all right. Yeah, dude, that's hidden for sure. Like if you're standing here.
Oh yeah, you can't hardly see it.
Yeah, you can't hardly see it. You'd have to walk right up to it. All right, the recorder is set up once again, as always. We're always using the same methods, and there's only so much stuff you can do. You're really curious about what we heard, huh? Wonder what that was? Sounded like something big was charging through the woods, coming right at us.
Yeah, it never really left.
Yeah, it sounds like it's slowly been creeping around.
What if it's a dog man?
I mean, anything's possible. Woo, 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 woo. If they are here, I feel like they'd follow us back to camp.
Yeah, hopefully.
I don't think that would be... I mean, I feel like that's possible. That kind of looks like a track there. What do you think? Do you see that?
an impression there.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that was from us. You can see it. It's hard to say. Well, I guess there's another field back that way. There's a bunch of fields out here. All right. Yeah, honestly, I think this is the spot where that BFRO report was. So we were just right over there in a little field just on the other section of the woods. But there's the pond. He was talking about 2 different fields and the service road, the conservation road, which is right over there. So yeah, this is the spot, man. Whatever it was coming up through that section of woods, coming to get a drink. But there's also frogs in here. And yeah, I believe this is the spot where that guy had the encounter. I don't see any tracks. Definitely the end of the pond where critters are coming up to drink, though. Yeah, you could tell. Bunch of deer tracks. What the heck do you think that was, man? This is where it was coming up at. We were over there in that field.
Freaking bust when they leave.
We were standing in front of that field. It was coming up over here. Wow. But yeah, you could tell this is the side where things are coming up to drink. You can see how it's really murky. That almost looks like some sort of track.
We're heading towards camp.
Yeah.
Was it recording?
I think you were.
What the hell?
I know, my GoPro does that all the time. That's what happened. We snuck up on it on the e-bikes. They are super quiet. And we zipped down here and just threw it off.
That's gonna be good.
I'm telling you. Oh, shoot. You'll be hunting and like you'll see this. Bam. Ooh, you got a tail light. I need to get one for mine. For as much as this thing costs, you think it would come with a tail light. And fenders. I had to buy the fenders. So quiet cut, that sucks. If you buy a quiet cut, it does not have lights or fender. You have to buy all that stuff. I feel like that should come with the e-bike, but whatever. So now we have a recorder set up in the conservation area. I'm gonna set one up in between the 2 killing fields, and you're gonna go on the far side of David's property. And it goes uphill. So I feel like that would be a good spot to set up audio. It's cool.
I'm gonna put the HN1 with a external microphone on it.
Okay.
I'm turning the decibel all the way up.
There you go. Yeah, I think you'll get something. The Zoom H1 recorder,
Yeah.
H1N, that's a good recorder. Works pretty good. I like the quality more than Olympus. I just like the timer on the Olympus.
You get like 3 days versus these, you get 1.
So Zoom, if you can make a timer on your recorders, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Especially that black one that I got, the H6. If that thing had a self-timer, that thing would be beast. All right, let's go. All right, so now we're on the big center ridge that divides the two main killing fields on David's property, and it's an absolute jungle up here. This ridge looks so much bigger than what it seems like on the drone or on video camera. It's absolutely huge, and you guys have seen it on the drone footage. It just looks like a huge strip of woods, a big ridge, a big hill that snakes out, and it snakes out of the park. But yeah, the park's just right over there. So like you got thousands and thousands of acres of solid woods, and it funnels out of the conservation area onto David's property. But I feel like this is like where a lot of the stuff is coming from. And it makes sense. I mean, it's definitely a trail that leads out of the park onto the property. And there's also a creek that follows this. But anyways, yeah, it's like a jungle up here. It's like a completely different habitat. David's got a trophy rock, a mineral rock right there. You can tell the deer, the hogs, the elk, and all kinds of critters have been tearing into it. He's also been pouring out some corn for his cattle and for the deer, I do believe. But yeah, we're gonna set up audio recorder number 1 here. We have number 2 way off in the park where there's been Bigfoot sightings and reports, and we actually had an experience there not too long ago. Don't know what it was, but it definitely sounded big, and it was in the same area where the report came from. But yeah, we're gonna set up the recorder number 1 here, and I feel like we'll be able to hear both sides of the fields and all around the property, but also the conservation area. Adam's way over there on the opposite end of the property. I mean, it's going to be the complete opposite end of where we are at, and he's going to set up the Zoom audio recorder. So if something happens, we should pick it up. I mean, obviously we don't have enough gear to cover every bit of land out here, but I think it'll be pretty good. It'll be good enough anyways, because last time I had a recorder in the park and it was picking up sounds that I was hearing here, and I was miles away, so I was kind of shocked. But yeah, let's get to work. You get it? Yeah? How far did you go?
Only some fence.
Cool.
Only up where the tires were setting.
All right, so this is the road right behind the campground, but look at all those berries. Look at them all. There are so many berries, and there's been so many Bigfoot reports around berry bushes. I'm gonna pick one, try it out. They're a little sour, but they're pretty darn good. But yeah, look at them all. They're all over the place. I mean, this place is loaded with berries, so if we do have Bigfoot activity, I'm just not going to be surprised. I think these things have like antioxidants. They are everywhere. The blackberries are in full force, my friends. And yeah, camp's like right over there. I'm gonna eat these. So I'm definitely gonna keep a lookout on thermal in this direction. I'm also gonna keep an eye on Adam and Yowie, because you never know, somebody could have like a heat stroke. So I don't want to stay too far away from anyone, especially my 2 companions, because if I take off in the middle of nowhere and something happens to them, I'll definitely feel guilty about that. And Adam fell behind earlier on the e-bike. I guess his chain fell off, but I looked back and I was like, where's he at? And I rushed back and he was hanging over his bike. I didn't notice he was putting on his chain, but I thought he was having a heat stroke. So it's something to consider. It is like blazing hot out here. It's like 100 degrees, and it's going to be like that for the rest of the week. So I think it's good for research, but not so comfortable being in the elements. It's nasty. The ticks are bad. I've been having ants crawling all over me, and I just can't tell if it's gnats, mosquitoes, ticks, or what, but constantly checking myself. But yeah, way down in the valley, down that way, is where we heard the loud knock. Yeah, we wondering where I'm at.
On the drone tonight.
Yeah.
You can circle me. Up rocks.
Yeah, a lot of ticks out there, that's for sure. All right, so this time I brought some golf balls. We're gonna do some experiments. I got these golf balls from the office job that I used to have, and I got these little magnetic triangles. So we're gonna see if anything messes with these toys. I also have 2 large marbles and a smaller marble. This little toy. See if something takes that. Some damn bugs. I got some dice here, so we'll see if something moves the dice, and we'll know because it'll be on a different digit, but I'm gonna put everything on 1. We'll see if it switches to anything else. There's 4 dice there, and I got some stones. Here's like a little crystal stone, a blue one, blue and gray, whatever. It's got like different colors. This one's got some different patterns on it, so I feel like this may pique their curiosity, and it's going to be a way to gauge to see if something was around, if something was watching us. And I also brought this bag of smooth stones. I think I'm going to leave everything in the bag, and if something rips it open or takes something out, I guess we won't know. But if it's like shredded open, there'll definitely be a mystery there. But there's also this little blue ball. This is like a stress ball. I got this a long time ago, so we shall see, guys. I also have some smoked trout, some canned smoked trout, and I'm gonna open it up and leave it on a stump. Yeah, he's eating nice. It's cooling him down. But yeah, we got the smoked trout. Do you think that'll work, Adam?
I do.
I think the smell might bring something in. I'm gonna put this one closer to camp because something's around. I definitely want it to get close enough to where we can film it on thermal, hear it on the parabolic dish, and scare the crap out of us. I'm gonna use that stump. Didn't we leave food on there before? I did last time, some peanut butter granola. Yeah, remember you had the apples from Washington or something like that? Yeah. David said those apples were gone the next time he came up here.
Really?
Uh-huh. He mentioned that the last time. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So let's try it out. We're doing some experiments, guys. This stuff looks crazy, but how else are you gonna know if something was around or not? Oh, Adam, last time when I fell asleep, I was laying in my tent and I heard thump, 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 thump. Something came through camp and just kept going. I have no idea what it was, but I wasn't gonna come out and try to see. It freaked me out. Yeah. And that keeps happening every time I start laying down in camp. That happened at the Emmaus Asylum. As soon as I started falling asleep, I heard, woo! Sounded like a rooster. People call it Rooster Man. Freaked me out though. I was like, I'm not getting up. I'm not even getting up to record. Like, I just want to go to bed.
Just lay there like this?
Yeah, well, Joe's recorder was in the woods, so there's no point in me recording with my camera other than being like, I don't know what that is, I'm scared. Because then I won't be able to go back to sleep. I was like, I don't want to be up all night at this haunted asylum. I just want morning to come as soon as possible. Yeah, seriously. I'd rather be around Bigfoot activity than demons. Screw that. All right, so this is the spot where we've been seeing the orbs. Like, up there's a field. We're way up that way. Well, not way up that way, probably about, I'd say 90 yards or so. But right here in the wood line is where we're seeing the orbs. So I'm gonna set up the smoked trout in this spot somewhere. And I think I'm gonna aim the GoPro in the same spot that I usually do, right here, and just kind of hope that I actually capture something this time. But I feel like this might attract whatever it is. It seems like they know that we're talking about them. David said that a lot of trees fell over across the trail here after the last time I came to visit. So it could have been natural forces, or maybe these things are blocking off the trail, but it is kind of weird that we're seeing the light anomaly here, similar to the Dover lights or the Brown Mountain lights in North Carolina. It's the same phenomenon, but we're not sure what it is. We think it's connected to the cryptids, but of course the cryptids could be connected to like UFOs or entities, paranormal, supernatural stuff. So it's hard to say what it is, and it brings the whole term skinwalker into perspective because, oh wow, yeah, a lot of trees fell over here. It was not like that. This is the trail that I was walking when I seen those eyes. I was coming back up the trail from the killing field and I looked over. I had my red light on, so of course the eyes looked red with the red light, but I turned on the night vision camera, which is this camera right here that I'm using, and they look like a yellowish gold color. Dude, there's red eyes down here. Dude, I feel like I'm being ambushed. Like every now and then, I'll hear something moving around me. I was walking up this trail, I had my red light on so I could see where I'm going. I see these two red eyes. Probably because I got the red light on. Not sure what that was. Definitely sounded like something moving, but I'm not sure. Wow. Yeah, these trees are definitely blocking the trail. I think this was here last time and it kind of made like a big X. I don't know if you guys remember that in the video, but it's kind of strange that everything just fell over. Huh. Well, this would be the spot to set up. Okay, so what we're gonna do, just leave that cracked, just like that. I think the smell of this should attract something. I know Sasquatch like trout fish because they're seen around a lot of trout fishing areas. Who doesn't like trout fish? Of course a lot of people don't, but I do. I definitely like trout fish. I think they taste good. My favorite is lemon peppered trout, and I think it's good. All right, so here's the configuration that we have across the trail. One dice is on 1, another one's on 2. We have the smoked trout, this one's on 3, and the last one is 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we are going to see if anything will move around the dice. Of course, a raccoon could crawl up here, get into the smoked trout and knock everything over, but if it's still on there and it's flipped to a different number, I feel like that would definitely be something more intelligent, because a little critter would just knock the dice off and it would be found on the ground. So if it's switched, flipped over, I feel like that could definitely be something, and we'll see what kind of pattern they come up with if they do flip the dice around. I've been hearing little noises everywhere, and again, like, this is kind of strange. I don't know, it's definitely blocking the trail. But yeah, if there's something out here, I left you guys some trout. People say to talk to you guys. I'm not gonna mind speak to you guys because that's, for one, weird, and two, I don't mess with telepathy, and the Bible warns about doing things like that. But I will talk to you guys because For example, when we were on the trail in the conservation area, I was talking about how you guys probably aren't around, and then it sounded like something was charging through the woods at us. Could it have been a deer? Possibly. But the timing was definitely strange. But yeah, I'm gonna set the GoPro just right up there where you guys can see the sunlight, and it's gonna be aiming this way, and this is where the orbs are. We wonder what's on this ridge. Like, you can tell it's like a big mountain, and it goes down into the killing fields. We believe possibly there's some underground cave, which we know that because when people tap into, like when people make wells, there's like huge caves, and there's certain areas where they just can't get water because the drills can't go far enough because there's huge caverns everywhere in Missouri. So there's definitely like underground caverns everywhere, and that's known by all Missourians. But if you go to a place called Onondaga State Park, in there they have pictures showing how the Indians used to live underground, and they lived like ants basically. Like, if you ever seen an ant colony, it's like that but on a greater scale. And yeah, it blew my mind seeing that the Native Americans lived like deep underground. And we've seen a bunch of ancient civilizations. I think it was like in Turkey where they had like these huge, I don't know, like rooms built on the sides of cliffs, and they went like really far underground. They say like the pyramids, there's like huge chambers that go deep underneath the ground. So with Sasquatch, if they are an intelligent being, maybe that's where they're going. Maybe like when they move in an interdimensional way, like they're able to go in and out of the earth. I don't really know, but if something like that can turn into a ball of light, why not, right? Anything's possible. The channel's called Sasquatch Theory, and I'm definitely open-minded to all possibilities. Where are the bodies? Where are the bones? Why do tracks disappear? Why are Sasquatch reported to just disappear into thin air? People have talked about how these things have turned into a ball of light. And yeah, the cloaking thing is definitely weird. You know, people talk about like this predator effect. It looks like this liquid being moving through the woods, dropping out of trees. So there's certainly something strange. Wow, it's happening again. Okay, so I'm not being dramatic. Okay, so I was just on that ridge, and I tell you guys every time, like, I completely lose my breath. Like, my heart rate just skyrockets and I can't breathe. This is the same spot I was standing 2 times ago, and actually last time. It seems like when I hang out on that ridge, I just can't breathe anymore, and my heart rate goes up. I don't know what it is, guys. I think something's draining me. And you guys saw it last time in the video, like my my IR flashlight that helps illuminate the night vision, it kept shutting off, and this was like the same spot. So there's definitely something going on here. Some type of vortex, something. People say as above, so below, something like that. I don't know, but oh man, whew, definitely a strange feeling. I'm feeling it. So that means we are going to see the lights tonight. Hopefully we can figure out the camera settings, and we'll try to document for you guys. I say that every time and pretty much fail every time, but I'm gonna keep trying. Yeah. All right, so here's what we got. The blue ball, some marbles, smooth stones, a golf ball, the magnetic triangles, and the little boy toy. The little boy toy, that sounds wrong. Some smooth stones in the bag, but yeah, we'll see what gets moved around. So we'll try to record it so we'll know if anything got switched around. So there's 3 marbles, the toys. We'll take a screenshot of that and compare it later. Dude, that sounded like it went through the trees, didn't it?
It did.
Like I could
That's
hear.
not an acorn tree. It's not even acorn time, so.
No. Like I could hear it. It went like, and then it landed by us.
Got both our attention.
Yeah. Yeah, we were both looking at it.
I feel like tonight's gonna be a really good night.
I think so too. You're always excited.
I think you've spent enough time here they got comfortable with you.
I think so. I mean, regardless of the fact that I have camera equipment, I think they're getting comfortable with us. And possibly that could be because the last couple times we've been leaving food. Like, kind of like a respect thing. I've heard people say that. All right, so we have both of the Autel drones ready to go. Or at least we're getting it ready to go. Here's the Autel Alpha. And there's the case. Really nice case. Adam, what kind of drone do you got? The Autel Evo?
Evo 2 version 3.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we're gonna throw these drones up in the air and try to see what's in the killing fields. And I'll show you guys all the features on this camera. As far as the super zoom, we're gonna fly it during the day before it starts getting dark, and then we're gonna charge up the batteries and then try out the starlight mode and the thermal camera settings. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got starlight. Yeah.
Like, what is it, like 500,000 ISO high? It's perfect night vision.
Yeah, I didn't do a very good job at filming with the starlight mode on my review video because I didn't know how it worked. Apparently you have to put it on manual and mess with the ISO settings, but it's got 160,000 ISO.
Yeah, it looks like thermal, but it's amazing.
Oh yeah. Oh shoot, that's heavy with the battery and the camera in there. Oh dude, that's way heavier. I don't remember it being that heavy. All right, I wanna set up like where I take off like in an open area, so probably a little further down the field. That way when I land, I don't have to worry about trees. I'm carrying a cinder block. It's kind of weird.
Looks like it's bigger than a cinder block.
Dude, it's heavy. All right. Where do you think is a good spot? Grass is a little high here. Where at? Yeah? We'll try it. We'll just... Oh, shit.
Got built-in RTK.
I don't know what that is. What's RTK?
Yeah.
Yeah? We'll go with it.
Helps it take off and land exactly where it was.
Okay. Yeah, it did that the first time. And then the second time, it definitely didn't land. It landed about 5-6 feet like away. Whoa, weird. So maybe there's like some calibration settings that need to be adjusted. Yeah. Definitely want to get away from the propellers because like I said, it'll cut your leg off.
Looks like it would.
Yeah. Well, you seen what the DJI Mini 2 did to me one day.
Split you open.
Yeah, like razor blades. So something like this, definitely take your fingers off.
Booting up.
It should be.
I can still feel the wind off that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Start recording.
I really need to adjust the camera because like when you use the little dial thing, it like moves the camera way too much. I know you can calibrate it, but yeah.
Sensitivity down.
Yeah, because like watch, you barely have to move it for it to
I
go.
got the same problem on mine. I'm real zippy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that looks so good.
There should be a map down there though, right?
see if you want to land.
That dog was following them, but that dog always chased me.
But seriously, when we were setting up the stump with all the gifts, the little toys, did it sound like to you like something was flying through the trees? Because we heard it, and then like 2 or 3 seconds later, something dropped through the trees, and I could hear it like moving. I mean, it just didn't sound like something fell directly down. Like you could hear it zipping through the trees and then landed right there at the edge of the woods, which was weird because we were messing with the gifts, and that's usually where we leave the food. And before we leave, every time we leave food, and I feel like we're developing a routine. They're getting used to us, like you said, and we heard whatever that was in the conservation area. It was something big moving, though, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, kind of scary.
Spend a lot of time in the woods. You don't hear something that big very often.
It sounded big. It was coming through the woods. But when we were coming back and I stopped at that pond right there where we heard that thing moving through the woods, it kind of made sense because you have 2 fields, a section of woods, and a water source. So it seems like it was coming up to get a drink or check to see if there were deer in there. I feel like these things go around to different fields and like check out to see if there's turkey or deer, and they grab these big rocks and
Wow. Where's dinner?
Yeah. I don't know really. But I mean,
It makes sense. 'Cause they know water's as hot as it is. They're gonna want water, and everything else is gonna want water.
yeah.
So they hover around that one spot. Any animal's gonna go to the watering hole.
Yeah, for me, like in this area, it's not just David's fields, like for killing fields, like all the fields in the conservation area could be a killing field. There's just a lot of fields around here in general, so
I agree.
there's a lot of food sources. And we've talked about this in the past, that I feel like the conservation makes those little ponds and food plots to obviously attract deer and wildlife, but to get these things away from people's homes, because they do like to go through people's trash cans. They like to look into people's windows, take people's dogs. And I feel like that's a way to deter them, or like to get them away from people. And obviously there's like elk and hog around here, so that's like a food source for them. Like, why are they putting elk in here? And I hear out west, the elk is like the Sasquatch's favorite source of food.
My favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I would prefer elk over whitetail and even over beef. But with all the farmers, you have to set up these conservation fields to attract wildlife so that these things have something to eat. If not, they're going to be eating David's cattle and his cats.
The problem of it is they don't take care of the stuff they make.
Mm-hmm.
Food plots and stuff.
Yeah.
They let them grow up.
Oh, yeah.
The bigger they get, the more hungry they are.
Yeah. But I also noticed when I had the Autel Alpha drone going, you could hear something in that wood line moving around. Like you could hear things popping and snapping, and you kept looking. Like you were filming me, and then you're like,
All right, that's it. There's something over there.
there's something here though. When we first got here, it sounded like something threw a big rock at a tree, like clunk. I don't know. Didn't sound like a car door slamming. It was definitely something unusual.
I might set the GoPro up down there again.
Oh yeah, me too. We need 2 GoPros, mine and yours, because my GoPro 9, I think it is, did not do a good job. And it seems like my 11 did a fairly good job, but you have the 12 and it did an excellent job. Like it gets a longer night lapse than mine, and it picks up more. Like it must take more photos per second or whatever. Because that's all it is like a bunch of photos being taken every couple seconds, and it puts it together into a video, and it creates that time lapse. But yours seems to have like a better resolution, better quality, and it takes more photos, and it's a longer video. Because mine was like, oh, it's nighttime, it's morning. Yours is like a longer nighttime. Yeah, I don't know.
We've come a long ways.
But I also have some other plans too. So if these things show up, if the orbs show up, we should be able to document it with the Sony cameras. My Sony's been doing horrible.
I got the old Panasonic.
With the heat, my Sony camera's just been shutting off.
Yeah, that's.
Has yours been doing that?
Well, out here it has been for sure.
Yeah. My, like the lens camera.
Oh no, I mean broke.
Oh yeah, my other one has, the one I'm
Yeah,
recording
I
with.
don't know if it's the heat or if
I
there's
think
something
so.
else at play, but
Well, that's true. Oh, David, when I went down there and put the smoked trout on the trees across the trail, as soon as I got back to that same spot, I couldn't breathe. My heart was going crazy. I don't know. And my batteries are acting wonky. It's like a combination of all those things every single time. Not really sure.
Don't let nothing happen to you.
I've already been hijacked.
uh-oh.
They're in my brain. It sounded like something flew through the trees and then landed. It sounded like a rubber ball that landed. I don't know if it landed on that roof or what. The heck is that? That's like the second or that's like the third time that's happened.
That's a hickory tree right there.
Yeah, it could be hickory nuts falling. We definitely have a lot of white oak and hickory trees around us. Black oaks, cedar trees. Huh. Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That sounded like a knock, but that is towards the shooting range. How many miles away do you think that shooting range is?
That shooting range is about
Like 2 miles, is it?
straight.
To me, it sounded like wood on wood, but like David said, that's towards the shooting range. Who knows? Yeah, we still never acted the way he did on the trail at Berryman. Yeah, remember how aggressive he was acting? He hasn't acted like that here. One time I think he has here.
He's like, oh, time to go in.
He's acted a little funny here. Like he went up to the gate one day, and then it's like, nope, I'm coming back. But out there, he was growling. He's never acted like that. Even he did at my place when I first got him. He hid behind my leg and then poked his head out and was like, "Grrr," and you could hear something moving through the woods. It was big too.
The one good thing about it, he don't bark.
No, he doesn't bark, but if he finds a turtle, he will. He'll just sit there and bark at the turtle nonstop.
I'll be darned.
All right, so Adam and I have 2 GoPros set up where we're seeing the orbs, and I'm just coming down here to check to make sure it's actually recording. It seems to be working. For some reason, the battery keeps shutting off, and there's always something going wrong with technology. But it's going to be hard to see the orbs with all the fireflies. As you can see, there's lightning bugs. And in the winter, that's kind of how it is with the orbs. They'll turn on and turn off, but they're a little bit bigger in diameter than the lightning bugs. They're about the size of a volleyball. You just see them turn on and then shut off. But like I said last time, it lit up like a light bulb, like right about there, just poof. And it stayed lit for like 20 seconds or so. But yeah, I'm out here kind of scoping things out. And yeah, in that wood line, that's where all the stuff's happening. Coyotes are going off everywhere. One literally went off right next to our camp. That was freaky. A coyote literally fired off right next to camp. That thing is close. I mean, he's got to be right down that hill right there. That was wild. It just goes to show that there's things around you and you have no idea. Yeah, the activity seems to happen when David leaves, so maybe we'll see something. Maybe something will take the gifts that I left. I mean, you would think one of these times something will happen. So right down there are the GoPros. Orb activity. Man, maybe it's the flying squirrels, but I'm hearing stuff flying through the woods. Honestly, that's why I don't like bringing Yowie, because like, you know, like when you're hunting deer, like all those little small noises in the woods, those are indicators. So like when something's making noise around you or someone's talking, like you can't pick up on anything. Like you gotta be able to listen. It's like a big part of hunting, is like picking up on all the little sounds around you. He was growling, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And that's towards the orbs. Yeah, he's looking directly that way. Do your thing, Yowie. Dude, that camper's blocking off like half of our view. Yeah, that's what it was last time the night core flashlight was failing for some reason. I don't think it was the flashlight, I think it was the battery inside of it. Because right now from here, I can zoom all the way down there. I couldn't last time, it just like wouldn't focus. You heard it, Adam. They're throwing rocks, aren't they?
Yeah.
It seems like it.
You can hear that one coming.
You hear them moving back there. Maybe it's flying squirrels getting into the trees, flying around, knocking stuff off, but I don't know.
Oh, that one landed right there.
Yeah, I heard it fly through the trees and it landed in the grass. That was weird. And it's been happening over here too. Just kind of weird. See, that was happening during the day when I had the drone up and when we set up the gifts. You hear that everywhere? Here, let's just get quiet so this mic will pick it up. Dude, when the cats are gone, the mice come out to play. You hear that?
Oh, yeah.
That's not big. That was big. Again, sounded like it was flying through the trees. I really wish that RV was not there. That's what keeps happening the last two or three times. Like stuff's happening directly behind there. It's just like I can't see because there's a big camper there. Ooh, what the? Dude, I swear I just saw like 2 red lights over there.
Oh, great.
Yeah, right over there. You hear something moving over there, don't you? I don't know, whatever's flying through the air is big. And Yowie's on alert, like he's looking in those directions. Like he should be playing, kind of running around, but he's on edge. He's actually being pretty good for the most part.
Ever been in my life.
The red eyes?
That scared the holy shit out of me.
Oh, I'm sure. I've never seen the red eyes. I think I've seen red lights out in the woods, but I don't know about red eyes.
Well, that was my
Like what
first,
I just seen.
What was that? Because it was definitely something.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely alive.
Mm-hmm. And it was bobbing up and down, huh?
Yeah,
In strange directions.
I watched it in the mirrors as it came up to the back of the truck. I watched it.
Really? Yeah, he started getting away. His collar started buzzing. He's acting funky though. But yeah, it sounds like there's been things being thrown around in the woods. Just you can hear stuff flying through the trees and it lands sometimes like close to us. So we don't really feel like it's hickory nuts or acorns, but who knows? Maybe it's the flying squirrels. But you can also hear like things moving around, can't you, Adam? Like
Yeah.
things in
Like
the leaves.
Hear something move over here, and like that. And then I hear something over
Hear
here.
that peep sound? That's a flying squirrel. So there are flying squirrels around us, but I don't know. We'll see how Yowie's reacting. He just keeps looking in the direction of the orbs.
That's the way he was growling and barking earlier too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was definitely on alert. Like something got his attention. Oh, I hear that walking over there.
Does he have white? Does he have white designs like albino eyeball people?
No, they're brown eyes. What do you mean?
Well, Zach's got that one dog that's got one eye that's white,
Mm-hmm.
and its left eye is half brown, half white, like its pupil.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they named her Luna.
Yeah.
And I didn't think nothing of it. It's just neat looking. My dog with two different color eyes. One of them's got two colors.
Yeah. I had a border collie like that. Well, I didn't, but my buddy did. It was pretty much my dog, though.
There's a lot of Indians on Washington, and Jack's dog has one eye that's white, one eye that's brown. And they got their dog from some Indians, and they told them that means that Indian folklore, that one eye can see this realm, and the white eye can see into the supernatural realm.
Wow, I never thought about that. Makes you wonder. Dude, he's like hugging up against my leg. Something spooked him. He never barks like that. What is it, buddy? He's definitely not acting right.
I've never seen him do that.
No, like when he barks at turtles, it's just a regular bark. He doesn't growl and get all aggressive. And I don't know, something's definitely got him on edge. Well, now we know something's around. But anytime he barks, it's always something, whether it's a little critter or a creature around. Remember in Berryman, he'd bark like that and then the wood knocks would happen shortly after.
Yeah.
So he was like definitely picking up on something.
Run right back into the tent.
Yeah, and then run into the tent. You can tell he wants to run somewhere. My tent's shut, so he just don't know where to go. I'm just not seeing anything.
I didn't see nothing.
What is it, buddy?
Come here.
Well, he's calming down, so that's good. You hear stuff moving around us?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hearing that. Like something's... That one's got the hyena sound, dude. Is it just me, or is there like a really strange feeling? Like, have you had that for the past 20 minutes? Yeah.
I thought that was just me being freaked out.
No, there's like a dark feeling. You can tell Yowie's on edge. Like, he's just not... He's not acting right. No, it's not just you. What is it, buddy? Maybe we called in some coyotes. I hear something moving around. You hear that?
Yeah.
Dude, the bugs are so bad. Dude, the bugs, the heat, and the humidity are so bad. Like, I can barely take it. They're like all over my skin, underneath my clothes. I feel like I'm in a sauna. I figured it'd cool off by nighttime, and it's like worse. I don't get it.
I got stickier, didn't it?
It got stickier. Sticky, icky, itchy. It's the best I can describe it. And it's quiet. I mean, Yowie's on edge. He's kind of going back and forth. You can tell he's uncomfortable. I'm sure he's getting bit up, but he's got medication for that, so. Adam, are you sure?
Uh-uh.
We're gonna call in a dog man. Is that something you want to do?
Nope. But I'm here.
Well, we're gonna try it.
Now what?
What is it, yo? Telling you, I got a cold, dark feeling. Something's not right. Did you hear that? You didn't hear that? Dude, that sounded evil. Like, I don't know how to explain that. It's like talking. I hear voices. Something don't sound right. Feel right. Alright. We're calling in a dog man. I'm gonna do it. Are you sure you want me to do this, Adam? It's gonna happen. Here we go. How did that make you feel?
Not good.
Not good at all. Well, you gotta think these things are part wolf, part human. Get ready. One's coming in. Sound like a freaking woodpecker. Did you hear that? You hear that?
What have you done?
I don't know. What do you feel?
You don't hear that?
Yeah. What do you hear?
You don't hear that out here?
I do hear that. Sounds like a telephone ringing or a woodpecker. Is that what you're hearing? Dude, what did we do?
It's getting closer.
What is that? because it's coming.
You hear that, dude? It was sounding off.
What did it sound like to you? See, like I was hearing like something weird. All the animals are going nuts.
A little deeper than that, though.
I was hearing something like straight that way. Like that way?
Out this way, somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. Let's try one more. Now that one gave you chills, huh?
Yeah.
That sounded more like the dogman that I heard, but still way deeper, guttural, like a growl roar, but like that. It was like that, but times 100 on steroids. I hear something moving. There it is. Oh my God. Dude, there's something moving.
You did this.
I'm scared. I'm not kidding. My power's going out. Dude, it sounds like a telephone ringing back there.
It does.
I told you. I've never heard an animal like that. And it's coming from the park. That's a weird sound. I don't know how to replicate that. It's like a telephone ringing with a woodpecker. I don't know how to
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. I'm out like this every night. Just walk around. I've never heard that before in my life. Huh. Alright, dog man, we were just kidding. Don't come around. We don't want you here. What is it, puppy? It's the direction that we heard the telephone sound. Did you hear that? Dude, wood knocks. Wood knocks. That didn't sound normal.
We are not alone. I can sense it. I feel it. we're zipping things up. Not too much happened tonight. We heard some strange sounds. That's about it. But yeah, he's already comfortable. He's on my cot. But yeah, I'll tune back in if we hear anything, but most likely nothing will happen. We'll see.